Hi, I'm Suzy Badaracco, president of Culinary Tides. We are a fractional foresights and trends intelligence team for the food and beverage and neighboring industries. This presentation is a condensed version of the full session I delivered at National Restaurant Association show in May of 2025. In this shorter format, I'll walk you through the key insights and takeaways we covered so you can quickly get up to speed on the trends that matter most. If you'd like access to the full deck, there will be a QR code at the end of the presentation where you can request a copy. Or if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out. Let's keep the conversation going. So let's go ahead and begin with winning customers with snack-inspired menus. First question is, why are snacks replacing meals? The number one reason actually is financial. Dunnhumby was one of the first that found that 36% of families have skipped meals specifically due to financial reasons. Del Monte followed up with a different piece of research showing 80% of parents versus 66% of non-parents actually substitute meals with snacks. For parents specifically, it's because the parents want the children to have a full meal, so the parents themselves are switching over to a snack or just skipping meals. IFIC also found that 56% are replacing traditional meals with snacks or just smaller meals. Again, the number one reason is financial. There are challenges to food service because of this. Circana found that 50% often snack instead of meals because they're on the go. 32% often report they snack as a meal. And then NACS also found that 26% view snacks and meals as interchangeable. So why is that a problem for food service? Well, what happens is consumers still want to go out for several reasons, psychological reasons, etc. Why they definitely still want to go out to their favorite restaurants, but they're scaling back on their spending, right? So the three things they're most likely to skip on the menu to save money but still go out are drinks, appetizers, and desserts. So let's take a look at what we could do with appetizers. One more piece of the puzzle. Since they're pulling back on spending, but that's causing them to snack more, healthy snacking is what's rising. So not salty sweet snacking, but healthy snacking is rising. So what do we do about it? Knowing this piece of information, how to reposition appetizers on the menu. And remember, the problem is appetizers are seen as before the meal. So it's an extra. And what are they avoiding? They're avoiding extras. So you could rebrand them as a mini meal. You could offer appetizer combo, so an appetizer side and a beverage, or you could come up with appetizer flights. Also, don't forget to leverage LTOs. So limited time offerings are, there's a lot of drivers for those. One, it makes the consumer feel like it's something special. They don't want to miss out on something. You could also have themed pairings. So the theme could be around a holiday, or it could be around a global cuisine. And you can also make them interactive. So think about if you're offering fajitas, right? Where the consumer actually has to put them together at the table. That's a version of an interactive item. Epicurean also found that not only in 2023, 39% of sales for healthy snack category was increasing, it increased again in 2024. And YouGov also found that the two things consumers are looking at for snacks are, do I recognize the ingredients? What are the ingredients? And the nutritional value. So let's dive a little bit deeper into health. So from hype to habit, understanding the health drivers that actually stick. So when we're swapping snacks, we're adding nutritious meets delicious, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game. So we're going to look at these four nutrient sources, and this is what you're going to be offering. Instead of salty sweet snacks, you're going to swap in something healthy, and then we're going to match them with these health benefits. There's 5. So just you and I, let's play a little game. So let's take the first one, convenient, balanced meals. That is what a healthy snack you're offering is. Which of the 5 items on the right, do you think that satisfies? And it could be more than one. The top 3 would be satiety. You're adding protein and complex carbs and nutrient diversity. The next one is promoting fresh foods. You're promoting less processed by doing the swap. So on the right side again, which ones do you think actually succeed? The top 2 would be nutrient density and then lower sugar, salt, fat. The next one is you're swapping out this healthy snack for something salty sweet, right? So you're avoiding salty sweet snack, you're swapping in something healthy. And the top 3 would be satiety, nutrient diversity, and then also your lower sugar, salt, fat. And the last one's a little more interesting, international offerings. And its primary one is nutrient diversity, because you're adding in, whether it's the main item or seasonings you're adding in, you're changing up what the American diet might be seeing. And that's why it's nutrient diversity. Let's look at some of your allies. So you may think these are the usual suspects, but let's see why. So adding fresh fruit, you're adding natural sweetness, amazing colors, vitamins, antioxidants, hydration, which is very important right now for GLP-1 users, and fiber. Vegetables, you're introducing savory elements, you're enhancing nutrient density, fiber, and you're also offering an innovative twist. Cheese, what you're doing is you're elevating the dish with creamy textures, rich flavors, but also providing protein and calcium. And then the whole grains and seeds, you're adding texture, you're boosting fiber, nutrient content, and this is appealing to the health-conscious consumer. And finally, the global spices and condiments. You're adding, again, that global twist. It's introducing unique flavor profiles and creating a sensory adventure for the client. Some of our final thoughts. Don't forget, cross-tying or layering trends within a concept will lengthen the life cycle of that product. Financial pressures are the main driver for consumers, causing them to swap meals with snacks. But remember, they're turning towards healthy snacks to fill that void. And consumers are valuing authenticity because it's grounding, convenience, but also a sense of adventure in their food and beverage choices. So what they do not want right now is comfort food. And from us, know the birth and life cycle of a trend prior to deciding to enter it so you can predict how to navigate it. And spend more time researching a trend's longevity and trajectory than worrying about what your competitors are doing. After all, they may be idiots. So that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like a copy of the full version of the presentation, just scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you to a quick request form. And if you have any questions or just want to chat more about what we covered, feel free to reach out using any of the contact information here. I'd really love to connect. Thanks so much.